Okay, what is up, YouTube? It is HPJ here, and we are running down the next triple deck building set. We have Glorious Visitors, the next OCG TCG deck building set, which seems to be coming out very soon here very soon in OCG. As cards are now being unveiled. I have a prediction that maybe this set will come out to the TCG sometime at the winter mark, maybe late December, early January, if anything, because triple deck building sets do hold a promise. And after the last two, which has seemed to be a stretch of a year in terms of their release, not bad. Not bad at all, because the only downside is that one archetype out of the three tends to be the one that gets the shaft the most. It's rare when any of the triple deck building sets has actually had all three do extremely well. I think for the most, since the triple deck building sets were introduced, it was always that one or two that just unfortunately hit the landslide mark. It just wasn't exceptionally well, but the others did well on their follow-up. And I say this only because I would like to see more promise from all three deck building sets if Konami allows them to put the effort into it without there being so many issues. But because there's so many issues within the triple deck building sets at times, I don't really think most of them have held up. But when they do hold up, because the last 4 to 5 have held up pretty simply well, with the exception of one, because I do remember when the new dinosaur, the Neville, and I forget what the other one was that was with the Vanquish Soul. It took Vanquish Soul a while to get pieces that it needed to hang into the metagame, while the dinosaur was just dinosaur. It was just pieces that were just easy add-ons. And unfortunately, Neville, there was so many different problems with you guys because you're a ritual archetype that also had a pendulum base to them. And it was just like, I need you to find some congruency, because that reminded me how bad Yosenju failed. And how Konami was just like, hey, remember Yosenju? I remember Yosenju. We don't. And it's just like, oh, alright. You see how you do your poster children. So yeah, I have some hopes for them. I'm fingers crossing. Because the last two deck building sets prior to this one had some really big hitters. We had Raziel and Malice back in 2024. Then we were here we got 2025 with Intercraft and what was the other one with Intercraft? Intercraft and Killatune. Even though I hate the fact that they changed, because it's supposed to be Kill Tune, but then they changed it to Cool Tune. It's like, oh, okay, because you can use Kill. Alright. But both did extremely well in the metagame. Unfortunately, Hecka Hand was just Hecka all over the place. So it kind of just fell into the wayside. Which is also funny too, because the Genryu archetype back when Malice and Raziel came out was just sitting there in the background too, because here's this rank 4 engine deck that's doing extremely well, and then here's the Link archetype doing extremely well, while the ritual based level 10 pendulum lineup gets laughed at. And it's sad because they had amazing artwork, but because of the mechanics that the archetype tried to do, it was really just there. No one did anything with it. Konami gave it little to no support. And it was just like, well, we see who your real children are, Malice and Raziel. Because both of them not only did extremely well and topped in multiple, competitive events, but got hit by the Forbidden Limited list and still lasted longer than they were supposed to. Even to the point where now Intercraft and Killatune have now hit the scene. And they're doing basically the same thing that Malice and Raziel did. Was doing extremely well. Also, shout outs to K9, Vanquish Soul, and a couple of others that had, hit the scene and did extremely well as well from these triple deck building sites. Because while some may rise, some fall, others rise and do extremely well because of it. So yeah, there is a lot to this, but I'm going to go into these archetypes that we're going to be taking a look at, because these are going to be the shining favors, if you will, of what is to come. So first off is a ritual-based archetype based off of ancient Egypt. We have the Senet. I'm probably pronouncing it right. The Senet, a ritual, a theme that ritual summons a new king by using monsters without effects. So this most likely is going to be based off of summoning monsters, summoning a monster that doesn't need or gets beneficial effects for the number of monsters that are used without actual effects. So I guess get those normal monsters ready, because that's probably where this is going. Or maybe even more so, the monsters that are going to be used to help summon this monster are going to give it even more power and effects without really caring about them having their own abilities, or ignoring the fact that they have abilities to then give this monster even more abilities. The monster you see in front of you is Senet Sphinx, and I hope I am pronouncing that correctly, because I am not Egyptian, and I do apologize if my Egyptian is very much off. I want to just say before we go any further, I am loving the artwork of this monster, because it is one of my favorite colors, which is green. And then it has its gold, its ivory. It just looks amazing. It definitely reminds me of Set, the Egyptian god of the dead. No, not Set. No, Set is an Egyptian god, but it also reminds me of Anubis, the Egyptian god of the dead, and how he looks. So maybe this is like a combination of the two gods into one. So I forget what Set was the god of. I really do in Egyptian lore, but I do know who said it. I do of course know who Anubis is. Anubis is the lord of the dead in Egypt. We move on to the next one up, and this is probably the most mothered archetype we will see from the deck building set. And this is Rise Moon, a theme that shines brighter and brighter the harder one yearns for the moon. The monster in front of you is Moon. In Japanese, her name is Rise Moon no Tobari Cleo, which translates to Cleo, the Rise Moon Veil. In her artwork, you also see, in beautiful calligraphy, Rise Moon in the bottom left-hand corner of her card. So I wonder what basis of theme this archetype will be. If it's talking about rising brighter, if it's talking about shining brighter and brighter, I would maybe say a synchro-based archetype, or maybe a pendulum, or a combination of both. Seems very much optimistic of me, but it looks kind of something similar to that. Then we have the next archetype up, the last one of the new three, and that is Xenovader, a grotesque monster of a xenoverse are now unleashed. This is Hollow Devourer, Xenovader Jahannama, or Jahannam. Okay, Jahannam. Jahannam is basically a very grotesque creature. Kind of reminds me of like the entities, Azathoth in them, like how grotesque they looked. But the artwork of this card is gorgeous, which is crazy to say, but for something supposed to be so grotesque, this has some of the most amazing shades of silvers and grays and purples and pinks, and they're all just like really doing extremely well. Even the purples and blues and yellows on its inner chest area looks amazing, because it's like an evil eye looking at you, but then you have like these veins that are purple and green and they're green and cyan and yellow. It's just really great design. So I will be making thumbnails for each one, and then a combination thumbnail for them all together. This looks very promising. I do hope that all three do exceptionally well, and hopefully they don't get, the 2 out of 3 shafting that most of the time this happens when it comes to deck building sets. But no, it's very promising. I just did get word that we do have some Senet information coming, so I will take a look at that once I get the chance. Because I know a lot of people probably want to know what new support cards they're getting. So, let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about deck building set Glorious Visitors? Are you excited about this? Which one is going to be your favorite? Which one are you planning to play when they come out? I would like to have more information before I go any deeper in terms of newer cards. Like with most of them, I'll have multiple parts, or I'll have different um, videos describing or talking about the newer cards that will be added to them. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about them. I thank you guys so much for watching. Let me go ahead and start getting ready to edit this video because I have to get ready to go look at the Senet videos. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel because it helps out tremendously. Hit the notification bell to be informed when I upload more content. The socials are in the description box below. And definitely check out the second channel because discussion videos, not discussion videos, but the podcasts and stuff are being uploaded to there. Thank you guys so much for watching. And with that said, HBJ signing out. Take care. Bye-bye.